Okay guys, in this tutorial I'm going to be designing this flyer from scratch. I'm going to be designing the flyer from the very first element that came up on this design. So I'm going to close this now and I'm going to open a new document and design everything that we have on this flyer from start to finish. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to create a new document, and I actually did the design. Okay, so the size I use is the standard Instagram size 1080. I have it here or from here, so you can input the values of the document size here. So 1080 by 1350. Our resolution, let's keep it at 150 because this is a social media design. Then we can leave our background at white here, and let's select artboards. I like using artboard so that because it helps me align directly many times. So let's click on OK, and we're going to have a blank new page here. Okay, so I've prepared all the files here. Let's see desktop. So I have all the files here. These are all the files that I use in the design. So I'm going to bring in the image first. Okay, so I can just click and drag and bring the image into the design. So we have the image here. Now I would be creating the background with the image. So if you look at this image, some of the dominant colors, especially on the dress, is this purple color, right? We have this purple color all around on the dress. So there are some of the dominant colors. So I'm going to I'll select my artboard from here. I can just click any of the edges. So you have these colors here, and I'll click on this white here, and we'll have this eyedropper tool or color picker. Okay, it's called color picker. So I just click on the purple on this side of our dress and maybe bring the purple down a little and then click OK. So I'll be having this blue background. Okay, so now let's off this one first. Let's off this one first and proceed with the other background creation. So we're going to start from the background all the way to the foreground at the front. Okay, so now let's bring in the background image. I use this image as the background image. This is a bedroom image actually, but it worked for me. It works more like as a store or working store background for me, especially the ceiling area here, the lights, chandelier and all of that. So this bed part, I don't need it. I just need this part from the top towards this side of the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer mask from here, and then I'll click on my brush tool. Okay, and set my brush, click on this drop down, set my brush, the hardness of my brush to 0, and I'm using this soft round brush. So now I can brush off these parts that I don't need. Okay, you can see that I've taken off the bed area and all of that. So now I'm going to blend in this image to the background. Okay, so I can let's look at our blending mode from here. So select the background image and blending mode. So we'll just check through a number of blending modes that we have here and see the one that would work for us. So let's use soft light, for instance. Okay, soft light, you can see that it blends well, although we can still see, because the original image is white and our background is purple, right? You can still see some white around, but I don't really want that. So what I will do is I'll reduce the opacity of of the whole image. So I can reduce the opacity from here and also reduce the fill. Okay, so let's increase the opacity a little bit. So we have something like this. Now, let's lock this layer so that when we are dragging around, we'll not move this layer around. So another image that we have is this mannequin. Sorry, I didn't get that spelling correctly. Okay, so we have this mannequin or mannequin. Okay, so we have this image here. Now I'm going to be placing this image at this top right corner of my canvas. So, but before I do that, I'm going to draw a round shape. So let's draw from our shapes tool here. Let's look for ellipse tool, right click and get ellipse tool. So with holding my shift down, now I'm using Adobe Photoshop CC 2021. So if you're using the same Photoshop version, the shortcuts that I'm using or whatever the shortcuts that I'll be using and some of the effects will be there. But if you're using a lesser version, some of the things that we'll be doing here may not directly apply to you. Okay, so let's continue. Now I'm going to change the color of this circle to a lighter purple color. So let's select this purple color and let's push it to something like this. Okay, then I would drag this image here. I'll bring it to the front. You can just click and drag it. Look at my layers panel here. You can click and drag it to the front. Okay, and just right click and create clipping mask. So by creating clipping mask, I've placed this image inside this circle. Okay, so we have this image inside the circle like this. Now we'll blend this image with the circle. So the same thing that we did for the background image, we are going to do that for this. So we'll change the blend mode. Let's look for one that will blend very well. So we can use either overlay or soft light. So again, let's use soft light. Okay, so let's use soft light and we can create a group of this. So you can just drag this or just come here and click on this and it will group this thing for us. So let me change my selection to group so that I can be moving this in group. Okay, so we have something like this. You can open the group to adjust something. So let me reduce the size of the mannequin in the shape. So you can move the image inside the shape, right? So we have this like this, and okay, let's bring another element. Okay, this time around is going to be this these accessories that we have here. Okay, so let's put this here. Let's put this here, and also we are going to blend this with the background. Okay, let's say lighting or screen, but let's use screen. Okay, so many times when I design, I just test different blending modes to see which one actually works best for me. So let's use this and reduce the opacity. Just reduce the opacity to 50% by just pressing numbers on your keyboard. You can press, let's say 1 will make it to 10%, 5 50%, 6 60%. You can see opacity 60%. So let's lock this and I think we are done with the background. Okay, so now this image, our main image before, so let's bring the image. I have already removed the background of this image. Okay, so that's why it's transparent like this. I have the image on the chair like this. Okay, so I'm going to transform this image and keep it like this. So I'll be having something like this. Now, so that we can have our information, okay, so that we can have our information resting well on the image and on the background. This is the model image, right? This is the main model image. And so that this image can come out very well and a little bit differentiated from the text, I'm going to select this image separately out of the chair. Okay, so I will explain that much later. So let me rasterize this. Let me rasterize this image and convert it to smart object back. So I'm going to click on this smart object icon and it will open like this. So let's use our object selection and select subject. Okay, so selecting the subject, I want to select the subject from the chair. So let's wait for this to load. Now we have the image selected from the chair. I'm going to just duplicate the image by pressing Ctrl or Command plus J if you are using Mac. So I'll select these two, or let me convert this to smart object back. The main image at the top, I'll convert it to smart object. The one at the bottom is already a smart object. So I'll select two of them like this. Let me collapse this and bring them back to the original place. So let's off this one. This background one, let's off it. Okay, so we have this. Now I'm going to link these two images together so that anytime I move them, they'll be able to move simultaneously, but they are different images. Okay, so I've linked them. If I just click on one and move that one around or increase the size, both of them will move together. Okay, so let's keep this first. Yeah, and now the one at the back, this one here, I'm going to reduce the opacity to something like this. This is 50%, this is 1%, this is 60%. So let's just keep the opacity like 50%. So this is going to enable us to put our text or other information here very well without competing with the image. So look at it. If the image is like this, that background part, the chair is still very sharp. It's going to contrast with the information that will be placing on it. So that's why I had to separate the chair from the main image so that we'll have space. So let's lock the layer and let's bring in the logo. So we have the logo here. Let me put the logo here. So we have the logo. We can centralize the logo here. You can just reduce the size. Now this is your logo. It does not need to be very, very, very big. Okay, so now I'm going to reduce the size of this guy here. I don't want it to overlap with my logo. So we are going to have it like this. I don't want it to overlap. So let's keep this one here. And this our image again. Let's still increase it to something like this. Okay. So we have this. Now we can just shift our logo here so it looks like more balanced, because this particular image here is a little bit of some distraction. Okay, that by the time we centralize this, there's going to be too much space at the left here. Okay, so that's why I'm pushing this back to the left so that it looks visually balanced. So in this case now, our alignment controls here will not really work for us. Okay, let me close this. I don't need this again. Let me close this. No. Okay, so we have this. Now we'll be writing our text. Okay, be writing our text. So just come and to our text tool here, T, or just hit T on your keyboard. Let's change the color to white. So we're going to be writing, the content is 1 month 20% discount on all sewing. So I'm going to write, the font I'm using is called Montserrat. So I'm going to write 1 month. Now this is called, what I'm about to do now is called font formatting or text formatting. Okay, so I'm using Montserrat italic, black italic. So I'm going to write, in order of hierarchy, I'm going to write 20% here. So this my 20% is going to be very big, so I'll increase the size. So the first, the hierarchy in this text formatting is on 20%. Okay, so I have this here. Let me lock this layer. Now this is why I lock my layers. I was just trying to drag on it like this and it selected another image for me. So this is why I lock layers. So let's close the gap in between. Okay, let's put it at, let's say 50%. So we have it like this. Okay, and then let's write discount. So I'll still increase the size of discount. Okay, I'll increase the size of discount. And the last one is what? On all. So we have this. So I'm going to reduce the size of this. Now we can make this one. Let's make the weight of this font lesser. So let's use like extra bold. So this one is a little bit lesser in weight than the rest of them. So we have all of them like this. So I'll just, now again, this alignment control will not work for me. Because it's in, what is it called now? The fonts are in italics. So I'll have to align them by sight. I just use my instinct to align them. So let's align this. So let's push this. So we have this. And let's write the date. The date is what? Let's write the date. 20th June to 20th July 2026. Okay, so remember, this is what we are designing. Okay, so this is what we are designing from scratch. Now let's consider it's directly on their self like this. Let's push the leading. This is called leading, right? So let's push the leading down. So what I mostly do is I set my leading to what is closest to the number here. So this is 30. So I can just set my leading to, let's say, 28. So I'll have something like this. Then let's align this to the left. So we have this. Now I'm going to draw a shape, a rectangle like this, and I'll be picking the color of this yellow color that we have here. I'll be using this color here. So we can zoom in so that I can pick that color. Using my zoom tool, I just want to pick this color here. So I can double click on this and just pick this color. So let's zoom out now. So we have this. Okay, now this is yellow. Yellow on white does not pop, so I'm going to change the color of this text to black, and then I can reduce the opacity of this yellow a little, let's say 80%. So let's just align this to the middle of the what's it called? Let's just align the text to the middle of the shape. So let's increase this a little and increase this a little. So I have something like this. Okay, so let's keep this here. Now we can group this. This is the theme of the design, right? Like this is the first thing I want my audience to see first. So let's group all of this, and let's also group this. So I'll be placing this like this. I'll just flip it a little. I'll rotate. Okay. So I'll rotate this like this. I'll rotate them together. Increase the size to something like this, and I can hold down my control. You see this icon here, so I can click on this anchor point and push it like this. So I'm going to have something like this. So let's send everything to the front. Now see what I was doing with this image here again. So let's adjust this image, our model image here. So let's adjust it so that we can have good landing space for the text. Okay, so we have this pretty much like this. Let me group this also. Now I'm going to use a text effect on this on my theme, so that the text effect will so that the text can pop or come out very well. So I have the text effect here. Text effect is a PSD file. Okay, so it's a PSD file. Now I'm going to include this PSD file in the description of this video. So if you want to download this particular text effect to use on your design, you can check the description to download. Okay, so this is the editable text effect. I'll just come back to my design here and carry this. So let's just copy this, Ctrl C or Command C if you're using Mac, and then Command V or Ctrl V if you are using a PC or Windows. So let's have something like this, and we can now delete this text. So we have this. So I'll just click on Ctrl S to save this, and let's wait for it to save. So I have my text here, 20%. I have this here. So I'm going to just copy this edition here, this particular one. I'll do Ctrl C and copy this whole text. So I'll be placing the text. Now I'm going to off this one. I'll off this one and place. You can see it's very, very, very big. So at this point, I can just convert this whole group into a smart object. So let's convert that group to a smart object, because it's very, very, very big now, and I want to retain this effect that I have on the text. You can see that the text has this extruding effect on it. So I have something like this. Okay, so let's zoom in. Okay, so let's put the text effect like this, like this, like this. Okay, so you can see this is what we have before. This is the flat one that we have before. You can see it's very flat, just white flat. But now, this is what we have now. So this is more relaxing, and not more relaxed. This has more effect to it, so we can just add a drop shadow. Let me add a drop shadow to this so that it will sit very well and more realistic, because it's a 3D effect. So of course 3D has this will have shadows and depths around it. So let's just add a black drop shadow like this. So we'll be having all of it like this. 1 month 20% discount on all sewing. So we have this like this. Now let's add other details around. So we have rider sewing. Let me increase the size of this. Now the font that I will be using for these features is called Antonio. So Antonio bold. Let's change the color to white. And like I said earlier, my leading, now the size of the text is 22.13, so I'll be using the size, the leading to, let's say 22 also for the leading. So we have something like this. So bridal sewing, bespoke products, bespoke wears, and ready to wear. So you can see the way I duplicated the text. I don't have to be writing the text every now and then. You can either do Ctrl+J to duplicate your text, or just hold down Alt or Option on Mac and click and drag. You are going to duplicate your text, so you just write on it. So now let's look at the original design. I did something like an intersection between each of these. You can see some intersection here. So this is one interesting thing that I did there. So what I'm going to do is I'll be drawing a circle first. Okay, just an outline circle. So let's keep this let's keep the fill of the circle to empty, and let's give it the same outline, the yellow outline, and let's reduce the strength of the stroke to, let's say, 1.5. So we're going to have something like this. Now let's zoom in. Control plus or Command plus on your keyboard. So let's zoom this in so that we can just focus on this particular part of our screen. Now I'm going to align this to the middle and duplicate this same shape. Okay, and put the same shape here. Align it also. Let's duplicate it the last time and align this. So I'm going to group each of these three. I'm going to group them. So Ctrl G, select these two, Ctrl G, select this, and Ctrl G. So I'll place these ones like this so that they'll intersect. Excuse me. So that they intersect like this, and I'm going to let me push it in more. So I'll group these two here and bring the intersection like this. Let me now centralize this to the one at the top. Look at this. This is left, this is center. So I'll group these three all together. So I'll be having this intersection. Okay, you can see the intersection here. Cool. So let's run. Okay, so we now have contact us. So the contact us, I used Montserrat. Now this is one interesting thing with graphic design. You can see that I just used this whole design, right? I just use this I just use 2 fonts. You don't have to use many fonts. So the fonts here, the same font from here, the same font, and then I change the font here. Now I'm going back to the font that I used earlier, which is Montserrat. So using the same font creates harmony within your design, and it does not, it just keeps your design simple. Really, just keeps your design simple. Okay, so let's push this up. And like I said, we are just concentrating on the parts that we are in now. Now, I have created my CTA, the call to action. Yeah, so I don't need to really, because of time, I don't want this video to be very lengthy. So I have my social media handles here, but it's black. And of course, this is not going to pop. So I'll draw a rectangular shape, a white rectangular shape under it. So I'll have something like this. Okay, so let me push my CTA on top of it, and we can increase the size, something like this. So let me align this, and Control plus G. Okay, so we have something like this, and I have this icon here. This is like directing the eye to what I have here. So I can change the color from my FX. Let's change the color of this to yellow, color overlay to this same yellow. Let me push this, and let's push this to yellow. So we'll be having something like this. Okay, so I think we are almost done with the design. Just some little effect. I think we are done with the design, really. So I'll just add some few effects around, and that's basically all, everything for the design. Okay, so I have this tape here. Okay, so I'll drag this and put this here. Now I'll be placing this towards the bottom here. I'll just put it here under my CTA. Okay, so yeah, so I have that, and let's just add some finishing touches. So I have this confetti effect here. So I put this one here. Let's just increase the size and put one here. Now this is too much, actually, or obviously this is way too much. So but the first thing I'm going to do is to change the color. I'm going to make the color to blend with the background and the whole feel of the design. So I'll do Control plus U and use my hue saturation to just, let's use something that's around purple. So let's see, okay, something around this. Okay, something around this. Now I'm going to add layer mask. This time around I will increase my hardness to 100%. I just want to cut. I'm not blending, I'm not trying to blend it. I'm just cutting the unnecessary confetti around. Right, so I don't need my brush tool to be subtle. So yeah, just like that. Then I'll duplicate it, Control plus J or Command plus J, rotate it and put it at the bottom. Okay, so let's use the same layer mask and cut some parts. So I think we have this. Okay, so now we can just do some little effects on top to just make the whole, to give the whole design a clean look. So the first effect I'll be doing is, let's do gradient map. So I'll be using gradient map. So I'll turn off this so that I can pick the colors from here. So I'll set my gradient to purple. I'll set this side to maybe a dark. Okay. Excuse me. So I'll set this side to a dark purple. Let's push this out. Sorry, let's do it again. So let's set this to this purple, and let's set this one to a brighter purple, like the one we used here. So we have this. Now let me bring this on. So we're going to have something like this. So we use our blend mode to catch any. I think I like this lighter color. Okay, this overlay also works. So let's use overlay, for instance, but we'll reduce the opacity to something like this, 30%. Okay, so we have this. Now let's add levels. Can just add increase levels like this and increase it like this. So you can see my levels panel here under properties here. So I'm using, let's use 15 for my levels here. So we have this, and there's an effect I usually do. It's like a net effect. So to create that effect, I'll create a new layer here. So let's create a new layer and send this to the front. Let me put this back in the artboard and click on my brush tool. So let's come to we'll go to special brushes. Okay, special effect brush. So under special effect brush, we have this brush. Now this is for Photoshop CC users. Like I said earlier, this particular effect works for people who are using Photoshop CC 21, 22, 20 and above. So if you are using CS, Photoshop Creative Suite, you may not get this particular effect I'm about to do now. So let's look at it. This effect here. So let's use this and let's change our foreground color to yellow, this particular yellow, and let me zoom out. So I'm going to increase the size of my brush to fill the whole screen like what I have here, and then I'll just click once so you can see it will create this effect. You can see the dots, full effect on the whole design. And of course I'll change my, what's it called, I'll change the blend mode to something that will blend very well with, I think I like soft light. I've used soft light, a number of soft lights very well on this design. So let's reduce the opacity to, let's say 10% or 15%. Let's do 15%. Okay, so I think with this we are done with the design already. Let's look at the reference design. So this is the reference, and redesigning now, we have gotten to this point. Okay, so like I said, I'll be dropping this text effect in the description of the video so you can download and probably practice with. This is a very lengthy one because I had to take my time to explain word for word and to just show you my whole design process in this tutorial. Okay, so I hope you really found this tutorial helpful, and if you do, please like this video. If you have any question for me, drop it in the comment section of this video, and if you follow this tutorial to this very point and you have not subscribed, please hit the subscription button and subscribe to my channel. And there are also other videos on this channel that you may want to take a look at on my channel here. So please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video, you will be notified. And also, if you have any question for me, again, you can drop it in the comment section of this video. Now I have Photoshop tutorials. Like I've said, I have a lot of Photoshop tutorials here on YouTube, so you can check the video that is coming up now and just click on the playlist and you will be able to explore all my other Photoshop tutorials. Okay, so this is AP Media. Till I come your way again, I'll see you in the next one.